Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be shooting a chit chat get ready with me, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you so much for all the support, all the love. I really appreciate it, and please do enjoy. Do you know what? I actually saw a girl on Twitter. She graduated she was like a 27-year-old grad, and I was so happy for her. Like, I don't even know who this girl is, and I didn't even bother to go search or whatever, but I was just so happy for her. And the fact that she was proud of herself and she didn't mind posting that. And I was like, because a lot of people would be like, why would you say that? You didn't make a record time. But it's her record time, you know? And I kind of felt, I don't know if I want to say the word triggered, because I myself graduated at the age of 27. So if you notice, I've put concealer around and my eyes and in some spot areas that I may have, because winter has not been kind to me. So a lot of people may know this, but initially I started out studying in PE. Back then it was Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University, and I was 17 going on 18. I started school a bit early, so I was 17 going on 18 when I went to PE. And a lot was happening in my life. Like, my parents had just gotten divorced. We just moved to a new neighborhood, into a smaller house. We were financially not the best at all. Like, it was bad, to a point where, like, just a lot of things, man, were just hard. Like, it was hard to ask for things for school and stuff. So a lot of activities from school I didn't actually do, because I didn't want to bother asking my mom about it, because we just couldn't afford it. So me going to PE to go study, PE is like 3 hours away from East London, so it's not that far off, but at Ccgrwm you have to maintain someone who's in another city, was price. I'm using my Tammy Tropical Paradise palette that I used on my last tutorial for my transition colors in the shade Isle of Spice. So when I went to PE, I was at age, I didn't have any friends there. There was not really much support. And at the time, I didn't think I actually needed any of that. So I went there by myself to go study. And it was not the best. I still, low-key, if there's anything I've always tried to do in life, is to not regret anything, because everything in life is a lesson. Every journey you've gone through in life is a lesson, right? So I always try not to regret it. But when I look back now, I wish I never went in the first place. You know, like, I think I would have graduated quicker if I just stayed at home and studied here. But I think I needed all of those experiences that I went through to be the person that I am today. And so I went there 17 going on 18, study a course that I knew nothing about. And yeah, for the most part, I was there studying, but it felt like I wasn't there. Like, I was there, but not there. I don't know if that makes sense now. Like, I wasn't present in the moment. Even assignments as Zenza. Like, I wasn't all the way engaged in them. I didn't know what they were for or what they help with. You know, like, I thought I lost this, but I still have it. But I wasn't totally engaged in the work that we're doing. And I think it was low-key because I was just overwhelmed, and I didn't know how to express me being overwhelmed to my mother, because my mom was happy that I was going to PE. There was this thing of, I didn't want to disappoint her, so I stayed. But at the same time, I couldn't express that I'm unhappy, Payana. I just stayed because you have to go to varsity most. After high school, you go to university to study, and you make it out, you work, you make money, you get married, have kids, whatever. That's what I thought life was, you know? And so at that time, I was so into that, but okay, like, after this, I have to study obviously and do this course. I'm told this course is good and you're gonna work hard. I didn't even go through it. I didn't research this course that I'm doing. I just went there because I was told to go to PE, and that's it. So I applied to 2 or 3 universities, and Nelson Mandela was the closest to take me in. So automatically my mom was like, it's closer to home, and if anything we can just drive there, so it's fine. But even though home was so close, it always felt like everything was just far, everything just wasn't here, it wasn't comfortable. I made it comfortable because I made friends and I started popping out of my shell. I'm a very shy person. A lot of people won't know this, but I'm a very shy person. So it made me pop out of my shell a bit more, because now I find myself in this new city. I have no friends. I know no one. So now I just stopped the lid. Now I have to talk to people to know things. I have to talk to people to know about where is this campus, where is this taxi, how do I navigate this and that, And so being a quiet person who's shy but also naive is not a good formula for me to go there. And the thing is, I'm trying out this eyeshadow, but I don't know if I like it. It's yellow, and this yellow doesn't seem to be popping off. So it's got a lot of fallout essence. But anyway, so I'm just gonna pack it on first. But yeah, I just didn't like being there, But because I had friends and I'd made friends who we had similar personalities, and we came from similar backgrounds, it was sort of bearable, I guess. And it seemed like no one was complaining, so everyone should be happy, right? Because a complicated time was, no one is saying, guys, I don't like it here, guys, this and this and that. It seemed like everyone was okay, but I didn't feel okay being there. And so I studied, I failed, studied the second year, my first year, failed, and I could see the pain in my mom's eyes, right? But because I was sort of young and naive, I kind of just, I don't know, man. I don't know how I was thinking back then. I really don't understand how I was thinking back then. And at the same time, now I had gone through a few traumas on my own when I was there that I didn't tell anyone about. Only I knew about it, and the other person, obviously. Well, I don't think the other person knew, but okay, you move. So I had gone through these traumas of mine, and I didn't think of them as traumas because in my mind it felt like it didn't happen. I don't know if that makes sense now. It felt like it didn't happen. So I think the biggest issue that I had was that I wasn't talking to anyone about any issues that I'm experiencing while I was there. I think that's the main problem that I had, is that I'm not talking to anyone. I'm not telling anyone what's hurting me. I'm not telling anyone how I feel about anything. I'm just keeping it to myself because I'm assuming that I'm the one that's messed up, and life shouldn't be that way. Life really shouldn't be that way. We should be able to be comfortable enough to speak and not feel like you have to be silenced the whole time. So fast forward, after my first year that I'd failed again, I left. I was asked by my mom, do you want to stay? Do you want to continue? And I just knew that financially, we're not going to be able to afford all of this. My mom was already working 7 to 7 back to back. So I knew that we're not going to be able to afford this. And I could see, but not being a vocal person really got to me. So what ended up happening, I'm going to use the mirror that's in front of me here to be able to see what I'm doing. And so far, I don't like it. But anyway, so I'm going to use that color, Golden Sands, on my eyelid. I really like that color, so let's just hope it goes okay. So I really didn't like how life was just progressing for me, I guess, when I was there. It felt like I was not going anywhere. and it felt like I was just not doing anything. Let me cut my crease actually. Listen, I'm not trying to make this video like a motivational, don't give up on yourself, fight for what. No, if you don't want to, you don't want to, and it's okay. Like, it's really okay. But anyway, so I think honestly, mentally, I just needed a break from high school, from PE, from everything. And it felt like I was always on go, go, go. Like, it felt like I never stopped. I never stopped. And I never asked anyone, but could I please just take a break? I never told anyone. Let me spray that brush. I never told anyone that I need a break because it felt like it was not encouraged, and it felt like it's not normal to just ask for a break. But like, break kanjani usesikolweni? Come on, break when you're dead. And I'd see posts like that on Twitter and WhatsApp, and not WhatsApp, Mix It back then, and what's this other app? Facebook. So I was like, yo, there's this pressure. Like, it felt like I always had pressure to do this thing. And I didn't like, first of all, the whole change, kwayona. Let me try to use my finger. The whole change, kwayona, was not working well for me. I was not coping with the change. The whole moving from one city to another, it sucked. And I knew that I'm not going back to PE kwangot December. And now, because I've become the social person, I now have friends asking me, I miss you. And people were writing on my wall. Like, people were writing on my wall, come back. Dude, I miss you. I haven't seen you on campus. Oh, P. Things like that. And I won't lie, it really sucked. Like, it hurt to see shit like that. Because in my mind, it felt like I was just, I'd become this social butterfly. And I'd created a life for myself. But at the same time, I knew by the life we created later is not entirely me. Because it felt like I was almost even pulling a facade at some point. So I was just like happy to be home, but at the same time I wasn't entirely happy because I needed the break, and I was not willing to give myself this break, and I wasn't telling anyone that I need this break. I'm finding it so hard to actually pick up the color with this brush because I don't know what's happening. Where's the sheet? But I will list down all the colors that I've used down below. So it felt like that, and I wasn't making as many friends as I did when I was in PE. I wasn't as social as I was when I was in PE. And yeah, it felt like there's just pressure, man. And it wasn't nice pressure. It wasn't nice pressure that I enjoyed at all. And so what happens then? Fail the game. But by now, I had started working at the local municipality. I got an internship at the local municipality. And so I decided to just stick it out, Payana, and to take a break. And I think me working kind of alleviated the pressure. But I know it doesn't make sense because you would think that when you work, you're adding more pressure to yourself to balance the two. But it felt like I now had an outlet. So I now had a place to do whatever I want to do because I'm at work. I leave at 4, I come back. Come on, like, there wasn't. I actually really enjoyed myself when I was there, and so I didn't pass, and I was like, I'm not going back to school. Now, the reason why I didn't want to go back was, one, it felt like I was finally getting the break that I so deserved, and number two, it felt like for once I get to just do what I want to do, which is nothing. I just needed to do nothing. It felt like I just needed to just sit down and do nothing. Just to breathe, just to figure out what makes me happy, what do I want. And there's no pressure now to do this because I'm making money, I'm helping up again. So things are getting better. Yeah, and I think after I had failed now for the 3rd time, I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. No one likes failing, honestly. As much as it's a life lesson, but no one enjoys failing, guys. Especially not me. And so I just felt like I needed the break. Like, I felt like I needed time off. And I was finally getting my chance to get my time off. Like, I was finally going to be able to start breathing a bit better, you know? And so with that being done, and another thing that I felt pressure on myself, that I feel like until this day, I don't know why I did that to myself, is that I knew that my peers would be graduating soon. So I thought, okay, the easiest way for them to ask me questions by Tindoyam is let me work. So if you're working, no one can ask you anything because you're doing an internship. Internships are good. They progress, right? So whenever I'd see someone that I'm friendly by, or someone that I was friends with from high school or whatever, and they'd ask me, like, no, I'm doing an internship, you know? Easy answer, out the way. No one gets to ask me anything after that. And so that was how I was living for the longest time. Ooh, girl, looking like the Jamaican flag. But anyway. And so I did that, and it felt good, man. I had this pressure off me. Like, now I can make friends. I can go out. No one's gonna ask me questions about nothing. And so with that break, it was just nice that for once I get to just breathe, you know? And it felt like now I can mentally start dealing with my traumas, and mentally I can now start feeling like myself a bit more, you know, without the additional pressure to study hard and push hard. But I won't lie, I think the whole age thing got to me, because now I'm 21. I'm graduating. Some of them are going on to do their honors and whatnot, and it felt like I was starting to become an underachiever. Again, pressure that I'm putting on myself, and it felt like, okay, let me just apply for something quickly. Because if I apply for something and people can see, but okay, she's doing progress. So even if she starts over, at least we are pangela, wati. Like, who am I trying to convince these things of? Like, who am I trying to convince that I'm okay? Because I'm clearly not okay. And I've got no one to tell this to, you know? And so, and as much as my family was supportive, but they didn't know that mentally I was just not okay. And I think I wasn't willing to accept that maybe, just maybe, I shouldn't be studying or doing anything to do with these things. Like, I should just be chilling, you know, and trying to figure out what works best for me. What do I like? What do I enjoy? Like, what's the field that makes me feel good? And so what happened was, when I was doing my in-service, my internship, I was doing it in Komaspal, right, the local municipalities, and I was doing it under the engineering and building department. And so I actually started to learn about the course that I'm actually studying. The course that I ran away from in PE, I was actually learning about it, and I was like, this is actually nice. Like, I started to enjoy it. I started to like being there. I started to like myself being there. I liked the whole, I'm just gonna smoke it out a bit so it's not as dramatic at the ends, but yeah, but I started to like everything about it. I liked that there's different avenues to go into when you're done studying, and I liked the different options of it, like the different rankings you can go in with whatever route you choose to pick. I really started to like it, and I was so bummed out at myself for not fighting for myself hard enough to actually take time to figure out what I really, really wanted. So the course that I initially signed up for was actually really what I wanted, but I didn't even know it until I stopped. So any other person would have actually toned down, sat down and actually realized they actually liked something else. But to me, it just happened that the course that I actually initially, I can't even remember where I was. But the point is that I'm trying to make is that sometimes you need to listen to your inner voice, listen to yourself and what you actually really want to do. Don't think about other people. Don't think about lungela or whatnot. Just a little tip that I keep forgetting to mention: when you're doing your eyeshadow, try and create either with your foundation or with your concealer, but try and create sort of like a line that moves up, sort of like in a winged kind of manner, to lift up the shape of your eyes and to kind of just make your eyeshadow don't look as droopy I don't know if that makes sense now. So what I do is I'll blend out, and then when I get here, I'll do that. So other people may put on, like I've seen people put on like concealer at the very end, like they'll do a line and then they'll put powder on the concealer to set it out, just like the eyeshadow is as defined. But I don't really like doing that. But okay, anyway, we move. So I decided to go back to school when I was done with my 2 or 3 years of not studying. I went back to study this course that I've now discovered, but okay, I know exactly what I want to do now. I know what, you see what I did over there with that line, what I want to do with this. And I paused, like I did first year. Okay, I paused. I mean, obviously I've done first year a few times. It wasn't my first rodeo, but I paused and I was so happy with myself. Like, I was like, fuck, I've been wanting to do this for so long and I finally got it. So I passed my first year, I passed second year really well. Like, I really pushed myself to do the best that I can and to get the hell out of school. Like, I was just tired already. I was like, okay, let me actually just achieve this so I can get up and go. And so I did all of that and I was so proud of, like, it felt like I was finally starting to get over these stupid hurdles that I was experiencing in life, you know? So I was just so chuffed with myself that I went in to do third year. Third year kicked my ass. I won't lie, third year kicked my ass and I was going through the most as well. I think my main issue sometimes is that when I'm going through something personally, it kind of just dapples over in every other aspect of my life. I've baked off camera. So I'm just treating the rest of my face now. So when I'm going through something personally, I kind of just the circumstances that I'm going through kind of just take over the rest of my life, I guess. So I just wasn't okay, man. So I even gained weight, like everything is just happening at the wrong time. So I failed third year, and then I was facing academic exclusion. And guys, like, when I tell you, it was such a roller coaster, like so painful, so painful to face all of that, because it felt like now I had to prove myself, but do I really want to do this? Like, now I had to prove to other people, but actually, do you actually really want to do this? Because you're taking forever, you know? And I will say my family was actually really supportive. As much as I didn't know how I felt personally, like inside my heart, come on, but I will say that they were really supportive and they never gave up on me, on wanting to go back to school and to push myself. So I went back, I filled in everything that I needed to fill in to prove, but guys, they're phone and you're no phone. And I did the things. I did my third year again. I passed really well, extremely well. So I'm doing this thing that I saw from Alicia Ashley, where she pushed in the setting spray with a sponge. So let me see how it's gonna come off. So I passed really well, and I was like, okay, maybe, just maybe, we know what we're doing here. I got a bursary, and yeah, like to now study my BTECH. Unfortunately, my varsity at the time, like where I did my diploma, doesn't offer BTECH in my course, so I had to do my BTECH elsewhere. So I applied at Nelson Mandela University again. And I actually went there and I was very nervous about applying again because it felt like I was going back to all those traumas. But I knew, but I'm older now, I'm more grown, I've got better resources, I've got a better support system. I'm more vocal, I guess, about how I feel and how things impact me, and I know exactly what I want now than back then. So I went back into study. Now I'm 27. So can you imagine? It's like literally almost 10 years later that I'm going back. And yeah, it was so nice. I think God actually really set it up properly for me because I was able to have my car. I lived in a house with such amazing people. Like everyone in the house. There were one or two characters that were shaky. but everyone in the house was so amazing that it felt like any issue that I may have had, I should like this finish. Any issue that I may have had with myself, I couldn't feel it, like, felt like I couldn't experience it because I was just so happy. My little sister was there now. Currently, it's been a few years, so now my little sister is now also studying as well. So my little sister was studying there as well. So it felt like I had better support, as much as my boyfriend was not living in the same city as me, but now I had more people in with me, and I really, really enjoyed that. Okay, so I'm just going to contour my cheeks. So it felt like I had better support, ne? Like I had better support, man. And now everyone's vouching for me, everyone's in my corner. And I won't lie, I think graduating that same year kind of motivated me a lot, because my diploma graduation was in May and was scheduled to graduate for my BTECH in December instead of the following year. So I knew, but this is the year for double the bang. Pow, pow, pow. So I was so happy with the whole idea. I'm going to graduate twice in 1 year. I'm going to make 2 chains. Like, I was like, I can do this. I didn't even care about telling people that I'm back at school. I'm like, yeah, I'm back at school. Like, I even saw my old housekeeper, the old housekeeper we had at the previous house I lived at. And he was like, oh, he actually even remembered my name. So the whole time I'm thinking, I don't remember because I actually still remembered my name. And he was like, Siba, how are you? Like, what are you doing? Are you working? I'm like, nope, I'm back at it. I'm back at school. So it just felt so good to be back now in a city where I sort of dreaded being there academically for any other purpose apart from academics. I mean, of course I've been to PE a few times after that for like vacays and vacations or whatever. But I was just dreading the whole idea of Payan. And it turned out so well for me. I passed my BTECH, graduated December, and I was literally a 27-year-old grad. And I was so proud of myself. I didn't even care what anyone thinks. Like, I didn't care about, my peers. It's whatever. I'm married now. Some of them have kids. Some of them are senior managers. And I'm so proud of everyone and their journey. Like, there's no jealousy whatsoever. There's no feeling of, I wish. No, like, I'm happy for everyone. And the one thing that I've learned is that everyone has their own path and everyone has their own journey, and this was just mine. Mine just had to be longer. Mine just had to have a few hurdles here and there. Mine had to have setbacks. I had to learn to understand myself before I could actually properly progress in the way you funded, if that makes sense. See, I try and contour my nose using my fingers, but today I'll be using a brush because I have my nails done and it's not always easy for me to blend it out. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the icky part about it is that I'm struggling to get work. Yeah, well, so that kind of doesn't help the situation. Kind of doesn't help with the whole progress thing, the whole getting my things together thing kind of doesn't help. But I'd rather be at this place where I'm figuring things out for my life, where I've achieved everything I wanted to achieve. Everything else now will be extra over, but it won't be a matter of I'm working at a sort of a disadvantage because now I don't have something at hand. And that's just for me. I don't want anyone to feel like I'm judging anyone or whatever. If not studying and that's the whole gist of this, is that even if you don't go back to varsity and you do something else and you find success in it, that's great. But as long as it's satisfying you and it's making you happy and you found something that brings joy to your heart, If there's another route for me to not go back to school, I would have taken it. But for me, I felt like I had to go back to school. Like, I had to go back to do learning that I started to now enjoy for myself. And so the whole gist of this is that take your time. Like, if you feel like you need to take a break and decide what you actually want to do, it's fine. It's okay. Like, it's not a big deal. Do what you know is going to make you happy. Do what you know is going to work best for you and your family and just your mental state. Do what you know brings joy to your heart, because there's nothing worse than living a lie and living life like you have to prove a point to people that you're okay, or to prove a point to society that, okay, I've done this, I've done that, so I should be happy, when you know mentally you're not okay. Like, that's not what life should be like. And it's very unfair to start living your life like that when it's your life, that you're the one that's suffering, when you're not actually doing the things that bring joy to your heart, you know? And it took me a while to literally learn that. So I'm taking a bit of the green highlight underneath, just to add a bit of... If society doesn't deem you as... Things that have to be black and white. Let's put it that way. Things have to be either left or right. Things have to be one way or another. And if you fall anywhere in between that, it's not okay, and there's something wrong with you. With which things shouldn't be like that at all. That's not fair on anyone, you know. And so I think sometimes within academia it's the same way, but you feel like, okay, after high school, you go into university, you study, you work, and that's it. For other people, that works great. But for some people like me, it didn't work out as well. It didn't work out so great. But at the same time, I'm like, at least the one thing that's filled up most of my life, that's put so much pressure on myself, is done. The one thing that I always felt like was a bit too much and I can't carry this burden is done. It's over with. Now I just have to face another challenge. But the biggest challenge, I don't have to face the next challenge with the one that I had before, you know? So for my lips, I'll be using my Essence Soft Contouring Lip Liner in the shade Deeply Intoxicating. So, yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm like being, you know, is it Tony Robbins or that? I forgot his name, but I don't want to sound like I'm preachy and I'm telling you have to do this. Life is like this. It's really not. Life is not. Life doesn't fall in one. It's not linear. You know, guys, if vocabulary is not the best, okay? So I'm really describing things as best as I can with the limited vocab that I have. I don't read, okay? I read magazines, okay? I don't read books. But anyway, then I'll be using my Stay 8 Hour Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Let's Chill. I just started opening it right there. I've never actually used this before, so hopefully it goes okay. What do these things happen to me? Even on a, I don't know. Oh, it's on my teeth as well. I'm gonna take a bit of tissue and tone it down a bit because I'm not having this. Guys, I understand that we can't test makeup, né? I really understand, but it just sucks. That's all. Like, it sucks. So I try to remove as much as I can, and I don't know. Because I thought this color is gonna come out in like a soft color, and it felt like it was just so dramatic for me. And I just... Okay, so I decided to put on lashes and to do the rest of my face off camera. As you can see, my wardrobe is open because I'm a hot mess. But thank you so much for watching. The gist of this video is I wanted to show a get to know me, but I think you need to learn the other avenues of my life to only get to the core of who I am. So I just wanted to talk about my journey specifically when it comes to academia and whatnot. So I will get to a get to know me video much later on. Because even on Goku, like I posted like questions, like I asked people to post questions during that to the post afterwards, because I was like, I think it's too soon for that. But at least we can learn me through the different challenges that I've gone through in life. Then you can sort of get a better picture of the kind of person that I am and why I view things the way I view them and why I have the certain things that I live by, if that makes sense. So this is the final look. I've put on lashes off camera. As you can see, I'm not perfect at putting on lashes. There's a bit of gaps in between there, but yeah, guys, we're here. We didn't miss the party. Got on the train, even if it's quite late, but you know, we're here. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support, all the love. As you can see, I put on lip gloss on top of the Fainted matte lip. I don't know if I'm still okay with it. I think I'm okay with it now because it's, I mean, I still like Cerise pink, so a nice hot pink is a vibe that I can always go for. So yeah, but thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me how you feel. Inbox me if you feel like you want to compare notes and talk and get things off your chest. Maybe you need to speak to someone who's gone through something similar like me, or maybe at least maybe if you're gonna speak to me, it's fine, but as long as you've got some sort of insight and you know that you're not alone. Like, that's the one thing that I wish I knew. Where's my setting spray? The one thing I wish I knew when I was doing all these things is that I wish there were other people that I knew, because now I graduated, everyone's like, oh my gosh, like I'm also going through the same thing and I'm thinking of going back to school, but I'm not sure about seeing you. And I'm like, if I had known back then, you know, it kind of would have alleviated the frustration a bit, because I would have known that, okay, I'm not the only person who goes through these things. I'm not the only person who feels this way, you know. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your day. I've got a lot of errands to run. I'll wear a mask that covers